Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication did not work for me. Modern medication.
Hello, welcome to Mercy TV, your source for news and information on the cannabis issue as it unfolds here in Oregon, across America, and around the world. Greetings. My name is Perry, and along with PK, we'll be hosting this segment of Mercy TV, along with our very special guests, Weedman, Bria, and Tori. And we'll, I got several, I hope we get this all squeezed in there, so we got several viewpoints.
Yes.
We have the youth view.
Yes, that's why Brianna's here.
Chief youth correspondent, or our youngest chief correspondent, however you want to look at it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Weedman, talking about his activist activities there on the coast. PK can talk more about
my garden.
His garden.
And
I've seen it.
His work and efforts with the patient community here in Salem that we're supporting. And of course, longtime friend Tori, here to talk about all the different projects she has going on. And we have a little view here.
Move it in front of you, please.
I brought us a chart this evening
Okay.
so we could see and get it a little bit more information that cannabinoids are not just found in cannabis.
Excellent.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Not only that, in looking at what we're discussing here and showing Brianna, as well as getting some other information and more information out there, as when we bring in more of the science into our cannabis and hemp products, we can actually dial it in a little better to actually target more conditions.
Nice.
Here, here.
Here, here.
When we're able to target a condition, you know, we can actually work more towards microdosing. Again, giving us the ability to have smaller crop sizes when weather or seasons aren't necessarily so great, or a bug or maybe a mildew or something might attack our crop, and we need our medicines to go further. You know, so being able to have the opportunity to understand microdosing and how sometimes less is more gives us different flexibility even in our medicines and in what we can do with them and how we can sometimes make a little go a long way.
Nice. Here.
Yeah. Very good.
You said that there's foods now or that has the. Could you tell us about the foods and the other
items
Sweet
that have
potatoes.
cannabinoids in them?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get your pen and, like PK would say, get your pen and paper out, guys, please.
For instance, mangoes carry myrcene.
Wow.
How many people knew that a mango also had myrcene? Myrcene is another cannabinoid.
Mangoes
Along with
have
terpenes and
cannabinoids.
terpenes.
Oh, I can taste the terpenes in mango. I was chomping them yesterday. I love mangoes.
Interesting.
Who here knew about pepper?
Oh, I did. Paprika, black pepper.
It's
not paprika.
Not just black pepper and paprika. It's all of our peppers. But yes, peppercorns even, as well as all of them, have other. Pardon me, I'm going to flip this up just so we can all get it. And I definitely do not want to detract here from our friends.
Let's see what you got.
But we've got the careful, I can't, excuse my pronunciation, and I apologize, which is why I wanted to lift the chart so I could actually show you the cannabinoid that's actually in there that I have a difficult time in pronouncing. So I do apologize for my pronunciation. Yeah, and linalool, and pinene, and terpene,
Carotene.
and not only that,
yeah.
and carine is found in barks as well as cinnamon.
Oh, cinnamon.
Interesting.
So those are all.
Eucalyptol.
You hear that, Brianna?
Yeah, that's
Bizol,
Carophyllene.
humulene, which that in itself is also another terpene that we can even find in hops.
Interesting.
So again, terpenes
All those
can be
IPA
found.
drinkers.
Exactly,
Yeah.
you're finding your terpenes. Terpenes can be found in so many different, and if we look at it, here in fact it says chamomile, hops, black pepper, mint are woodsies. which are, all of
Lilacs.
exactly,
Pine.
our pine, our citrus,
Citrus,
our
lavender,
lavenders,
mango.
and our mango.
So all of those, we
All
can
of
take
these-
those. If you're a child, you eat these things, then you're going to have a healthy endocannabinoid system, is what you're saying.
Exactly. When we're looking at filling our endocannabinoid systems, we can do this in more ways than just cannabis.
Well,
and by
yeah.
bringing that out and showing that, especially for our children, where they're still frowned upon necessarily to bring in a traditional cannabinoid product, even something as simple as a hemp profile,
Right.
we want to also make sure that we're educating the general public that
Yeah.
cannabinoids are available in all different
And
forms.
lettuces.
Lettuce.
You can even get them within your lettuces.
Right.
Cannabinoid profiles are available.
Is tamarack a bark too? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Tamarack?
Tamarack.
Yeah,
I
it's in
believe,
tamarack.
isn't that an herb?
Maybe an herb. But
I
still,
believe-
though, there's
Yeah.
there's the CBDs in there. That's so
And-
cool.
Exactly.
Well, the receptors that we have, developed for all sources of these things that they're receiving for, not the least of which is the CBDs, but as well the CBNs, CBGs, and the whole alphabet there, and that's just what we know now. So it's good for folks to be able to get the most out of it, because often they have
The
to get
whole
very
plant.
specialized strains that have the most of what they're looking at. They're looking for. Then again, there's CBGs, CBNs. In reference to Chucky
So
with the
do you-
list there, but
Could you see it ever
each
happening?
one having its own application.
Yeah. Could you guys ever see it happening in the schools that they educate children about this?
Well,
do you
it-
hear about this in school, Brianna?
No.
Do they do any kind of drug education in your school?
Nope.
What grade are you in?
Sixth grade.
Sixth grade. Well, you know our view on cannabis and how we use it as a medicine. Do they talk to you about other like dangerous drugs? No.
No.
Did you get that thing I sent you about the strawberry quick?
Yes.
Do you remember reading about that? You want to talk about it? No. Well, I don't want to embarrass you, but it's a dangerous thing out there that they're giving children on the playground. It's this stuff called strawberry quick, and it's a methamphetamine that is actually pops in your mouth like a pop rock, and it's candy. I've got a few people saying that on Facebook. Now, if anybody has any hard copy, fact that's out there,
Wow.
I'd like to hear back, because people that target children to put them on drugs is not the kind of guys we want. And we've got Brianna here to educate her about these things.
Interesting.
That way, when she grows up, when you grow up, you're going to go to a party, you're going to go to prom, you're going to get older, and people are going to offer you drugs. So what have I taught you to say?
To say no,
And if that happens, what do you do?
just say no and probably smack it out. of
What
their
if somebody
hand.
says, "Oh, your dad's the weed man. Come on, we ought to smoke some of this here. You want some?" What are you going to say?
No, thank you.
Good job.
And do you know the difference, in bringing up your dad and Weedman, the difference between why your dad uses cannabis compared to other types of pharmaceuticals that he could use as his medicine, where he uses cannabis as his form of medicine compared to cannabis used recreationally? There is a difference between the two. Do you know what that is? Or can we help educate you today? So then you can educate the rest of your community.
Yeah.
Here, here.
So remember what we said? Remember we were talking about on the car here? We said, I asked you, so how am I different than when I used to drink and I would do those other drugs, the meth?
Yeah.
How am I different now?
That you go to jail less.
That's what you said earlier.
Actually, that's huge. Because,
Yeah.
again, if you're not in jail, then, one, you're actually able to bring care, concern, hope, and just your presence at home, a stable income.
Yeah.
Not only that, that insecurity of, a parent constantly not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
So that
She doesn't have to worry about where's dad because he's
That's-
off drinking and doing drugs or meth and ending up in bad places and ending up in jail or my gosh. I mean, and the one thing that is so wonderful, I believe, about cannabis being legal in our state is that when Brianna grows up, if she does want to and she goes, she'll go to a dispensary where there's not some guy sitting there saying, here, you want a crack rock with this? You want some meth, or we got something like that. That's what our youth and that's what we are getting to look forward to now.
Very true, very true. Education in the youth is but when Measure 91 was passed, they said 3 times in writing they would not hurt the medical program. Look now, you're paying outrageous money for an outside growth site. Patients didn't have location to grow, even their 4 plants. At one time, the Mercy Center was helping out the patients.
Yeah.
This was at the beginning of the law.
Well,
now
how
it's
many
changed.
community gardens, co-ops have now become tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
Well, the whole
co-ops
the whole
gardens,
community.
and it's just not the same.
A number of changes, a number of bad alterations to the law, deliberately meant to drive out growers, to drive out patients, to crush the program, has been going on over the past couple of years. And so now we have a program that even the folks running it say it has too many people with the program, and they're not going to add conditions, they're not going to do anything that could be misinterpreted as being pro-patient or pro-cannabis or anything of that nature. So the patient community really has to get together and support each other. The growers, we have to go back to almost to the days before OMA, where there was a network of people who were growers, who knew growers, with the caregivers, with the patient community. And folks were constantly at the risk of arrest and going to jail. And some of those people who were arrested then are still in jail, by golly. And that's one of the changes that we just haven't seen.
And I wish Raina would call in from Texas.
Hey, I just got my voter ballot in the mail. You people must have gotten your ballot
I got
too.
mine.
Now talk to your neighbor or talk to your relatives. You need to send this in before the 6th of November.
Yes.
And it's important. Our forefathers fought for this right. And it's an honor to have at least writing your own name in if you're not sure about the...
Yeah, that's why PK puts American flags here.
That's right.
Because we're all Americans. So many people fought and died for our right to just sit right here and do what we're doing today.
Yeah.
So I actually called and double-checked and made sure I was
CCTV.
registered.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Folks, go online. There's a number of resources that let you verify that you are registered.
Yep, just Google
And it's
it.
an important this election cycle. There's a lot of disenfranchisement going on. There's a lot of people that are getting kicked off the poll, and so forth. So for their sake, vote. Go TV. Help everybody get to the polls. Make sure those ballots get dropped off.
Absolutely.
And as PK was saying, if you don't know who to vote for, write yourself in.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Hey, you want the job done right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
And
you're
if you have
tired
enough
of this
friends, they can.
nonsense here.
I've always grown up thinking how important it would be to educate in our schools that children vote And here we are with
Children can
Brianna.
help with voting. They can help
Well,
register people to vote.
They
can
grow
encourage
up.
people to vote.
Exactly.
And in some cases, they can probably drive them to the voting polls
There you go.
before they're able to
Even
vote
vote themselves. Yes.
It's a beautiful thing, and
It is.
Really important
I
that
mean-
it happens. I mean, think about it, folks. If everybody who refused to vote because Bernie wasn't on the ballot wrote him in instead of not voting,
Exactly.
we'd
We'd be sitting with Bernie.
Those millions of people. That was the difference. You know, that's what Hill and certainly more than the Trumpster got. So,
American, it's your obligation to vote,
Right.
just a privilege.
and you know,
It is an
Yeah.
obligation.
Just
You
let
hear
me
that?
absolutely
close
right.
by
You can't
saying
even get on jury duty.
rights
if
are
you
like
vote.
muscles. Use them or lose them here.
Yeah.
So
Yep. And if you're not exercising them, what happens? The atrophy.
that's absolutely, yeah.
Seriously.
You know.
If we're not using them, they go away. And
We'll be
that's
lost.
reality.
Yeah,
And look at how many of our rights have already gone to the wayside now.
yeah. And
I have something to say.
Yes, darling.
Plus, if you don't exercise, then you'll kind of get yeah.
right.
Again, atrophy. It just
Right.
sort of hangs on
If you
with
don't
you,
exercise,
and
you
you get
start
that
losing
Lose your
extra
muscles,
flat
or they're
yeah.
overlaid with fat. So
Yeah.
That's a sideways view of the Weedman.
Otherwise smothered. But
But it's a good analogy, you know, Bree. Very good.
Yeah, it's like your mind is a garden. If you don't take out all the weeds and you don't keep it clean, you don't take care of it, it's just going to go to
It's
not gonna-
cluttered,
gets
overgrown,
it'd be
full.
like- yeah. Full
so
Sometimes you have to declutter.
do it. I mean, this is really something that everybody should do. Help where you can, any way you can. Help ferry people. Just go door to door. Meet your neighbors, and make sure they got to the polls, got taken care of.
Hey.
Don't matter what party, who they say they're going to vote for. Just
Vote.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go.
do it.
Our strength is in numbers.
Yes.
Ours is a numbers game. We win. We are popular. So if everybody goes to the polls, we win. So that's
Well,
our
you know,
goal.
And you know what's really interesting is when you read the voter pamphlet and you actually educate yourself as to what the issues truly are and who's out there running and what they stand for. You know, just because you might be identified with one particular party or another doesn't mean that you still don't have the choice to vote in a different party.
No,
You are
right.
not stuck to whatever that says. You have those options. It doesn't say because you're Democrat or Republican that you can't vote Libertarian if you find that they answer or resonate better to what they might be representing in that county or in that particular region. So don't limit yourself just by what you may think you know. Reading the voter pamphlet might give you a lot more information.
Certainly not for a dislike or that, but what the person's going to do for you. They got to
Yeah.
do what you need done. If not, then you seek those that are most likely to.
You're sitting
That's what I'm
still
saying.
in
Don't just look at a party and and turn your back on them because you don't particularly like what that particular party represents. We might be actually walking past somebody who could actually be the best person to really represent us and lead us down that trail that could actually breed prosperity and hope.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
People out in TV land, call us. It's 503.
588.
6444.
Yes, please call
We'd
in.
like to hear from you.
Yep. Yeah, we've been here 20 minutes now, and our phone hasn't rang once, so
Oh my
we're
goodness.
slacking.
Yeah,
we're slacking.
We're
sorry.
sad.
All right, well, if that's the case, then we may have to wrap it up in a
Oh,
short little
yeah.
half-hour time and not
Yeah.
go you folks out there and
If you're not interested.
Facebook.
social media land,
Yeah.
you know.
If our
Give us a
conversation, you find it boring, stimulate us.
Yes.
Yes, please.
Where-
Please.
Come to
Which
say
way
one
would
more.
you like us to go on this? Area?
Yeah.
John from
Direct.
California.
Is he called?
No.
Yeah, John Prince. Yeah, John Prince. Raina from Texas. How about tell us about Free the Weed? What's going on down there with a gentleman? He's been in federal prison for like a while because of.
Henry Turner, who
Right.
sings
Louisiana,
the
let's hear
opening
from you. How about
song.
North Carolina? Let's see if they're still busting people for wastewater,
Yeah.
improper
Yeah.
wastewater storage and disposal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, still trying to recovered from the hurricane. I guess a lot of people are. But that's it. That's crazy how government bureaucracies are, like prohibition. It was amazing that during Katrina, during pretty much all these disasters, that in the aftermath of the destruction, they go sweeping in with their helicopters to round up potheads where they can, not even assist with people right in front of them on their doorstep, but they were still carrying out operations and nonsense like that,
Yeah. And we've got people who need water. We have people,
Right.
who need just the basic food necessities, and in some cases medicine, or we need to transport people from hospitals that are, losing their emergency equipment because they can't run their generators
Right.
due to whatever natural disaster is going on. But, let's go bust that pothead.
Oh, yeah.
Because, he's going to, cause some chaos and some havoc.
Well, and
And
here we
that's-
are not doing that.
And that insanity
Right
is
here.
reflected in current policy at the
Yes.
border. Canada. Oh, Canada.
Oh my goodness! And how many more days, and they get to and there
I
are
believe
already.
some places are selling, and now
Actually,
as we
they
speak
became
here,
legal on the 17th.
Right.
They sold out. You should see the lines of the dispensaries. They
So-
were around the corner, in some cases
Wow.
around blocks.
There
And
you
just
go,
think of
so-
all that money that they could be. Are they
Cha-ching.
making it for education and for
all of it,
roads
the
and
whole
everything?
gamut. They've already been.
Remember last
got
time
that
when
out.
we asked OLCC gentlemen, we asked them where are those funds going? Why like here, Brianna, she don't get educated. She's
No.
an independence organ, and there's no kind of education, drug education in there in her school, and they're not. Those dollars aren't going there. No, not to be negative. I remember the first words that he said. Well, they're supposed to be going to education,
Right. Uh-huh.
to roads. It's supposed to be going here, but they never really gave a number.
Well, there's
So-
going to have to be a change in mindset, a change in
That's the
Philosophy.
OLCC.
and a change in
working.
policy at
Yes.
the top, at the feds.
We need to talk to
'Cause right now-
we got to talk to our legislators.
Folks going through the Canadians trying to get into the U.S. are being grilled as to their cannabis use, and if they've used cannabis, they are being banned for life.
From coming into the U.S.
The U.S., yes, even at the states where it's legal, because it's federal policy. Ha ha ha. Oh, but gosh, guess what?
What about the
you can
deschedulization
buy
of
an
CBD?
exception to this here.
Oh, in Walmart at the pharmacies.
No,
No,
there's
he's
a
saying that the-
government form
he's
that you
saying
can
that you
fill
can
out
actually
and a
purchase-
process you can go through.
Oh,
and I'm sure it helps
What's
if
the
you have
permit?
it.
What's
It's
the
like
cost of the permit?
$600.
Yeah, thank you. That's what I want to know.
See,
now
just
you
like
can
their
buy
little
your
war.
way
It's just a
out.
fine. It's just all about money.
Otherwise,
know?
you're banned for life.
Right.
If you don't pay them $600,
You
you're,
can't get
you're
into the
banned.
U.S.
can't get
under
into the
that.
US
And this
now.
is
Isn't that
for
considered
being
extortion?
honest. Of course, if you lie and say you're banned, so it's like a no-win here,
Isn't that extortion?
Yeah, you would
Isn't
think.
that what
That's
a form of
the
extortion?
medical program. We helped out
Right.
several
These
different
heavy fines in the medical program. What are they
My
for?
goodness.
They're because it's evil and dangerous, and you have to be watched.
You think it's evil?
It's not
and
true.
dangerous?
It's a complete canard.
Exactly.
And yet, that's the philosophy, that's the policy, and that has to change. That's got to change at the top.
How many people?
Grill the governor, grill your state legislators, grill your county commissioners.
Vote.
Because
Vote.
the guys who are running the program right now, all appointed there by legislators,
Thank
are downright anti-medical cannabis. They are not helping these patients at all.
And this is what happens when we allow ourselves to get angry, allow our emotions to run away with it. We don't look at the people that are elected because we get so overwhelmed and distracted that we make the choice to not vote.
So-
and when we do that, the people that are elected and the ones
Well-
that are doing this are anti-cannabis.
Right.
Prop
They are
91
anti-this.
Right.
They're driving our laws
All the way
because
down,
they
you
made
know.
us mad. Really? I mean,
Excuse me. Ed was talking about
Prop 90 was it Prop
91.
How are we going to fix that? How can we address that?
No, see, that's a misnomer to say that there's anything in 91 that affected the programs, that there's some law or something to change it. No.
What's effect? What can we do?
What happened was that 91 distracted folks. It took resources away. The prohibitionists who are poised, who've been just drooling at the mouth with the prospect of rolling back the medical marijuana program, in fact, killing it altogether, were just waiting for the opportunity to put forth these changes to the law that we just experienced. They were going to try to do them anyway, whether or not 91 passed or happened. So they're the ones putting forth this thing that 91 is doing this to you. It's not us. It's 91 is doing this to you.
No, we need reform back
They
to 91.
promised they wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything. There was nothing in that law that changed it. It's these freaking prohibitionists, it's these legislators that did it.
Exactly, 91.
We got to vote them out now.
Yes, we do.
And they're gonna, because and look, folks, they're hurting you other ways. They're also messing with your education, your home, your health care. If you look down the line, these prohibitionists are anti-people all the way down. You know, so whatever right, whatever group, whatever thing you're thinking of, you can bet that these folks, if they're a prohibitionist, they are not your friend.
Not really. Not in the
You
big
don't
picture.
have to smoke cannabis to get the benefits of the medicine.
You can eat mangoes. You can eat.
Well, you can put it
can
in
eat
oil. You can put it in butter.
Yeah.
You can do it in several edible ways.
You know, one of the
Right.
things that we're doing
Cookies.
right now, we're doing
You can eat mints.
exactly, but we're also making medicated
juleps.
sugars,
Mint juleps.
medicated oils that you can cook with, so you can control again the dosages.
Right.
You know, you can understand what you're using. You can medicate different things like a tea or a cup of coffee, so you're not being so overly medicated.
Microdose.
You know, again, being able to understand different forms, and there are so many different forms out there. I mean, come on, we put it into
Pharmaceutical drugs aren't good for us from
Yep.
the side effects that they cause. Even though the doctor says, no, this will help you.
Yeah, it's funny to be going through a
Could be
quote
there.
opioid crisis when, gosh, for the past couple of years, been having people getting punished for reducing their opioid use due to cannabis. Oh, well, we're kicking you off the program altogether. It's like, huh?
really.
And here's what you get: an opioid crisis with that kind of mentality, that philosophy. So
Exactly.
register, vote, get everybody you know to do so. Also,
Please
Thank you.
remember to educate your children. Let them know that there's bad things out there. There's good things out there. Let them know. Give them the choice to
say
see,
no.
to say no,
Right on.
so they don't know what it is.
Ed, thanks for being on. Weedman, Tori, thanks for coming on.
Thank
Good to see you
you.
again. PK,
Watch
us home.
my garden. And because of Mike, because of Shauna, because of Grandma Janet,
GP sign.
Mike,
yeah, you can hear Grandma at the close of the show there when she says her blessings to you all. And good night, and we'll see you
Peace.
later.
God bless. Go safe. Go Weedman.
you want to say anything before I turn it off, Glenn?
Yes, good night.
Good night. God bless you all, every single one of you.